Hey, welcome back, collectors. So today we are going to be talking about some bad Supergirl spec that's going on right now. So during the Super Bowl, we got the Flash trailer, which I thought was really cool. For me, the highlights were Batman 89 and Supergirl, who looked really badass in that. So I think that this trailer got some speculator juices going for some people because of the scene where we see Kara Zor-El in rags, kind of like half naked and in rags. And I think what happened there is that it probably triggered some memories of the Batman Superman 8 number story, so from 2004. So while I said that I don't really necessarily care for Michael Turner's covers, I do like his interiors, and in this book it was on full display. Kara Zor-El returns to DC Universe on a spaceship, and it triggers this really awesome scene with her where she's like the Terminator, and she's just walking through the streets naked. And then you got these two creeper dudes like catcalling her, and then she like breaks some thumbs and then takes one of the guy's trench coat. It's a great introduction, and this is also the book where we get that last panel of Michael Turner, which later turned into the cover for a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which is a reprint of this book, and it's more highly sought after than this book. However, where I think the speculation is wrong is that in the book is that this storyline is not going to fit in that Flash storyline. If anything, I think what's going on in the trailer, if you guys look at it again, it looks like she's wearing kind of a prison suit or something. I don't know, because it's got like words on it or something. I haven't really like dug into and read what it says, but it seems to me more like this is a multiverse story. So it seems like they end up on a world that doesn't have a Superman, but what they end up with instead is a Supergirl. All right, so that I think that this is where it's going. And even if it was, which I think it's not likely, based on this on this Batman Superman comic, it's still a storyline. There is no first appearance here. There's no actual key. This book pretty much is very limited value to only pretty much Supergirl and Michael Turner collectors, which aren't that many. So again, don't get swept up in the FOMO. If you're a collector and you're starting to buy and you're starting to look into getting Supergirl keys, I did mention this into my Supergirl keys video that I made, but I mentioned that it was a San Diego Comic-Con one, that if you're going to chase anything, you probably chase that one instead of this one. So my advice, if you're a new collector for Supergirl, is that you sit this one out and you let the speculators do what they do and play hot potato with each other, right? And let one of them end up holding the bag, right? Because you don't want to do it, right? Because usually that's what they bank on, is a collector. Because you as a collector, us as collectors, we hold on to things for a little bit longer. So you don't want to end up with this book on the long term, not right now. So, and if you do have it, if you want to sell it for 30-40 bucks and then buy it down the road for 15, I feel like that's a good move too. So also, let's talk about some scummy practices, man, because while I was looking at the last sold for these, I was noticing some stuff that's labeled, and this is nothing new, guys. Like, this happens, but I'm going to be showing you guys an example of this. So I saw this post on eBay, and first thing that popped up to me, it says the first appearance of Kara Zor-El. Like, that's not even misleading. Like, I think as buyers and collectors, we are so used to like having to be on guard for the misleading, because salesmen will always mislead you. But this is not even misleading. This is not even a little bit true. This is a straight up lie. This is a lie. And this is fraudulent. Like, this makes me angry. Like, this is fraudulent. And I know that a lot of like seasoned collectors probably will look at this and we're like, hey, that's not it. Like, that's laughable. It's ridiculous. But we understand for new collectors, they might end up buying something like this because they buy into the hype. They don't really think about it. Somebody that's FOMO'd out, and that's what this thing it feels like. It feels like it's predatory towards new people. There's another seller that was kind of listed it, and then there was another similar post that listed it as the first appearance of the new Supergirl. It's just also not true. Like, if anything, it's the old Supergirl. So again, not it. I feel like these sellers, like, they end up hiding behind this predominant attitude in the buying selling community that this responsibility always falls on the buyer, right? We always hear that. Buyer beware, buyer do your research, buyer, make sure you're looking at all this stuff up. get your right information. But the problem is that a lot of times, you know, buyers and new collectors are always getting their advice from people who are retailers, who are sellers, who are influencers, and they're not always getting that right information. So I feel like that's kind of like a conflict of interest, in my opinion. At the same time, the people who are telling you to do your own research, at the same time are presenting themselves as the research, if that makes sense. I don't know. At some point, there is a little bit of a buyer responsibility, but at the same time, there's no excuse for this. There's no excuse for straight up lying on your post, right? You can just hype it up and say, oh, great story, awesome Michael Turner, whatever. But straight up lying like this, I don't know. I feel like there's no excuse for that at all. If anything, we should be trying to educate the new buyers. We should be trying to lead them in the right direction, make them more savvy collectors so that they do stay in the hobby for long term, instead of just ending up with boxes full of stuff, right? Because it's happened to me, right? I thought that I was pretty cautious and pretty savvy, and I still ended up with a long box of books that were like spec books that people say were going to be hot and nothing. And at the end of the day, I couldn't blame anybody but myself, right? I couldn't blame anybody but myself, and it's a shitty situation. Then again, imagine people who end up amassing long boxes of this stuff. Long boxes of this stuff. So again, I think that sometimes we should be telling the truth, even if it kind of seems like it's gonna hurt our sellers, because I'm pretty sure that's what some people are probably thinking. Yo, Jag, why are you scaring the money away? But again, we're trying to educate collectors so they stay in for the long haul. That's it. Getting off my soapbox. Pretty excited about Supergirl. If you are a new collector or you're new to Supergirl, I suggest you check that video I did on Supergirl, where I pretty much lay it out like the keys that are important in relative to Supergirl, and this book was not one of them. Well, actually it was, but not this variant. There was actually another variant. So check it out. Again, it's not the law, but you can use it as a guide to see what the important keys were before the hype, before we get deeper into this DC hype, right? And so that way we can maintain perspective. That's it. I hope you guys like the new intro. I love it, man. I love it. I never really liked the other Black Swamp intros. That's why I was using my old Jag one, because I really love that chill one. And this one has everything I love. I'm gonna let you guys go with the intro. All right, guys, peace.